So, moving forward, I'd like to invite to the stage our next speaker, and this person is the very person who actually authored this book. And he's got another book to his credit over here, which I'd like to mention is Dr. Ishrat Hussein's biography. So, if you could all give a warm welcome to Mr. Sibtain Naqvi.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you for that very generous introduction. Um, I started writing Meezan Bank's history a few years ago, and I'll always be grateful to Irfan Saab for giving me this opportunity. And the few people that I would tell that I'm writing the book, I didn't tell everybody, but the few people I would tell would always ask me, okay, what makes it special? And those questions have increased exponentially since October 3rd, 15 days ago, when the book was actually launched. So, WhatsApp calls, people have been asking, yeah, what makes it special? Of course, my natural response has been, a kitab pad lijiye, but people want the summarized version. And they ask these questions because, yes, Meezan Bank was a pioneer, but then following that, there were other banks that entered the market, some of them foreign, some of them local, some of them had a lot of resources, but they couldn't have the same kind of impact. So it's not just a question of Islamic or just products, there's something else happening. And I believe the first thing that you notice about Meezan Bank is the vision. And I'm just going to read this out. Establish Islamic banking as a banking of first choice to facilitate an equitable economic system and build a fair and just society. This sounds like the vision statement of Islamic institution or a not-for-profit or a think tank. Commercial organizations generally have a vision. We want to be number three, or the bank of first choice in terms of size, or become the most successful organization. A very commercial vision. This vision itself separates Mizan from other banks. Then, of course, you have the values: Sharia compliance, integrity, and service excellence. But what really separates, besides the vision and values, is Mizan Bank's culture. About 15, 20 years ago, Harvard did this case study on what separates the good companies from great companies. And this included banks, it included technology companies, FMCGs, various organizations, also not for profit organizations. And the one thing that they focused on was a culture of the organization. One can replicate products, one can try and get to the same level of customer excellence or customer centric approach. But the culture, which is the intangible, which is the DNA of the organization, it's very difficult to replicate. And this culture in Mizan Bank was established by, of course, Irfan Saab. This vision statement came from him some 25 years ago, when he sat down with a small group of people in Al Mizan Investment Bank to create the vision. It was eventually him who worded it. And of course, we're all talking about Irfan Saab. I won't talk too much about him. There are other speakers who can do a better job than me. But throughout these 4 or 5 years, I learned so much from him on the personal side. One day, Irfan Saab called me. It was Ramadan, and he called me after iftar. I think it was 8 or 9, and he said, "आप कल क्या कर रहे हैं? कल सुबह सहरी के बाद?" And I said, "I usually either go to sleep, or I read a book, or do something." He said, "Can we meet?" He wanted to discuss a chapter. He would review chapters with me one on one. And I said, Irfan sir, are you saying 6 p.m. or मतलब 6 a.m.? Sorry, कुछ मुझे सुनाई नहीं दिया ठीक तरह. He's like, नहीं सहरी के बाद आप क्या कर रहे हैं? मैंने कहा जी okay मतलब. And he said, आ जाएं, let's meet at Generations School if you can come. And I was thinking, here is a bank's president, extremely successful. He's also a few years older than I am, and he's ready to meet me right after SERI to discuss work. And that showed to me the commitment Irfan Sahab has to work, to productivity, to just the work ethic. Then I noticed other things involved in his family. For instance, Meezan Bank's name comes from his wife, Dr. Ghazala. She read the name in an ayat. Meezan Bank's first strategy meeting had spouses in it. So it has been doing a lot of unconventional things which other banks cannot even imagine doing. Imagine having a strategy meeting and saying, please bring your wives. We want the wives to be there because they should know what their husbands are involved in, because it takes a lot of time and commitment. So, like I said, one can produce products, one can produce the same level of services, have that focus, but it's very replicate to have this type of intangibles, and that's where Mizan really shines through. And this is also reflective in how they did the succession planning. They made sure that a person who imbibes the same kind of values, comes from the same culture, Islamic banking, also Mizan, previous experience, is going to be the successor of to Irfan Siddiqui Saab, and that culture and those values are likely to live on. And because of this, that's what I tell people, that because of this, because of the vision, because of the leadership, because of the culture and the continuity of that culture, Mizan Bank has shined through and it will continue to shine through. Thank you.